Kumbali Express TV olunaku lwaleero tusinzidde mu kibuga eky'Ekkuumi era nga ekituleese olunaku olwaleero kwe kuba nti disitulikiti eno yegenda okuba nga ate ekyaza olunaku olujaguza abantu abaliko obulemu luyite National Day for People with Disability. Olunaku luno lujaguzibwa buli mwaka era nga omwaka guno Kkuumi egenda kubeera lukyaza era nga omugenyi omukulu asuubirwa nti agenda kubeera mukulembeze w'eggwanga His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni era nga olunaku olwaleero nga bbiri ekituleese olunaku olwaleero kwe kuba nti abakungu okuva mu bitongole ebikulira abantu abaliko obulemu basobodde okuba nga ate bakuŋŋaana mu disitulikiti eno nga bategesewo kye bayita symposium okwetegereza bizibu ki ebimu ku ebyo ebiruma abantu abalinako obulemu basobole okuba nga ate babyadressinga. Ezimu ku ezo ensonga eziwanikiddwa ku mawulire kwe kuba nti abantu bano ebiseera ebisinga batulugunyizibwa ku mirimu gyabwe we bakolera saako n'okuba nti abamu tebafuna mirimu nga omuntu omulala yalina we yandibadde afuna omulimu nga taliiko bulemu. Ekimu ku bintu ebirala kwe kuba nti mu maka basosolebwa saako n'okuba nti abasajja oluusi babazaalamu ne babasuulawo ne batabawa na buyambi oluvannyuma lw'okuba nti babafunyisiza embuto. So minisita avunaanyizibwa ku bantu abaliko obulemu mu minisitule ya agenda gwe bayita Helen Asamo avuddeyo n'ategeeza n'agamba nti gavumenti y'NRM eno ekoze kinene nnyo okuba nti ekwatirako ku bantu abalina obulemu saako n'okuba nti bakyusa embeera zaabwe. Jjukira nti ttiimu y'omwaka guno egamba nti okukyusa n'okuteekawo embeera okukwatirako abantu abalinako obulemu basobole okuba nga ate embeera y'obulamu bwabwe etereera. So Helen Asamo avudde n'agamba nti okuva mu programu ngazi Parish Development Model gavumenti asobola okuba nga ate eteekawo 10% ng'essente ezo zigenda kuba ziyambako abantu abalinako obulemu okuba nga ate bavaayo mu bwavu. So y'embeera eri wano era nga enkya tusuubira nti omukolo nga guteeketwekeddwa nga ebifaananyi we tukulazeeko mu footage waffe ow'enjawulo gugenda kuba nga ate gubeera wano era nga omukulembeze w'eggwanga asuubira okuba nti agenda okuba nga ate abeera omugenyi omukulu kwabo abasuubira okuba nti baweesa omukolo guno ekitiibwa nga abakitaddemu nnyo omutwe ekitongole bakiyita NUDIPU, National Union for Persons with Disability, saako n'ekitongole ekya Uganda Women Media Association ekyo nakyo kitadde mu nnyo omutwe awamu n'ebitongole ebirala ebisobola okuba nga ate bipatanenga ne gavumenti okuba nga ate bateekawo olunaku luno okuba nga ate lunyumira abo bagenda okuba nga ate balujagalizaamu. So embeera bwetyo sigala ku Mbali Express TV.
Welcome all of you to Kumi District. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. I want to say as a disabled person, I started the journey of disability in 1992. So half of my life, I have been in the disability movement. But as a son of Helen, we are not where we were in 1992. We have moved very big strides, and we must thank God and thank the President of Uganda for that kind of recognition. And we need to clap for His Excellency, the President of Uganda. Whether you like Museveni or you don't want Museveni, he's the one who remembered us from that area. He's the one who has brought all the leaders who are sitting here. Over 40,000 leaders in Uganda. That's a great moment that we need to appreciate. We shall have challenges, but see how we can move to the challenges and come with proposals and solutions so that we can move together. Because there's no one person who can deliver the disability movement. We need to be united in diversity to ensure that disability movement reaches the heaven it's supposed to go. We need to work together and see that we improve. The theme of this year is improved household incomes for the well-being of persons with disabilities. This was the theme which was approved by the Cabinet of Uganda, and we took it up. The national theme was on leadership. But I think as Uganda, we have done a lot in leadership, and people are very many there. I want to congratulate all of you, NUDIPU, for organizing the symposium. We want to wish you well as you organize the symposium. As a ministry, ours is to wait because we have systems. My ministry is only coordinating. Then we see how to direct whatever is coming with good recommendations and good solutions. Otherwise, we wish you well. I hope the team has also asked to handle the symposium next year. I want also to recognize that the day of the disabled going to be celebrated in Kumi is going to be one of those which is going to check and take stock of where are we in the wealth creation. Tomorrow when I'll be talking, I'll be giving the details. I think the RDC has already read my speech by announcing the amounts. And it says PDM was this amount. And we need to thank Kumi who have already given the 10%. Because in my paper, I know I have only 3% of PDM which has gone to the people. But the Kumi is 10% of the PDM, meaning 10 disabled people per parish have already received what? The money. And those 10 people might not be here. But I've been told some group of people have been brought here to testify. And with the Kumi district, I am a witness. At least I've moved all the sub-counties here and have found people with this income generation doing very well. I was given the sheep, I was given the goat, I said, but I did my ticket to me. So I had to carry those things. And they have given me chicken, they have given me birds from this area. Very happy for the population. And I think they are doing well. Cool, let's clap for Kumi. It's a really model district. I also want to say that as we move to the celebration, let us check Enioga. All the constituencies of Uganda got the Enioga money, 30 million per constituency. But we leaders, when we get the money, we share. And we forget to make it a revolving fund. But I want to congratulate those who have worked well and have already gone to the amount of 50 million in their circle as a capital from government of Uganda. I want to congratulate them, and one of them, I think, nearest here is Kapil County, where they are already at 50 million. That's the nearest. But I'll be getting all the details tomorrow to give to you. We have the National Special Grant, which has also been going to us. It's now in billions. Again, some of us leaders, when we get the money, we don't want to keep the seed and produce. We want to eat it. Let's get this seed, produce it, and ensure that we get fruits. We don't want to eat it and begin saying, now so and so do this, so and so do this. For me as your minister, whatever program will come to government, I will make sure that we are there. Whether they give us a small share, but we are there, and we must be there. And I want to thank God that at least I went to cabinet. I have seen where they make decisions. That's the cabinet of Uganda. Because there is no decision in Uganda that will come out without the cabinet what? Approving. So that's the beauty that I've liked to be there. And this little time that God has given me to serve, up to 2026, I think I'll do my best to serve people with disabilities, especially the most poor of the poorest, to ensure that they can get that one. I also want to encourage members here, as we move together, let us ensure that the issues of disability are put on the forefront. Our partners from the civil society, whom I also supervise as a minister, by appointing letter, please, let's get the money, and the money must go for people with disabilities. And let's hear the money is down. Let's feel the money, let the people touch the money, and then we know that we are doing good work for our people. I also want to say that my department is always open. We are open to all criticism, we are open to all discussion, and we are open to all proposals. In this juncture, allow me to thank Prosper and his team, the team of the Minister of Gender. Maybe you need to stand up for recognition so that people see the people who are running with me. I don't know where they are, but I want to say thank you so much, because I'm very few. I know there are very many. But I want to say in the ministry, I went there, and again, I see the Musoka is also here. Thank you.
The work of the ministry.
Thank you. Your work of the ministry. When I went to that ministry, we didn't have a parking. These are simple things, but now we have at least one parking. When the ministry, I was not toilet for disability. I said that I cannot be a minister, seated here and there's no toilet. Now from floor 1 up to floor 7, I think I was told only floor 8 is still pending. We now have our toilets which are what? Accessible. We have so far employed 2 interpreters in the Ministry of Gender. We have also employed somebody in the vocational skills who is visually impaired. So we are moving forward to ensure that we can do that. That Rome was not built in one day. When you're a disabled person, know that you are part of Uganda. So when you are a child at home, whether the first born, the last born, when the cake is brought, it will be shared equitably. Ensure that everybody gets something. And I want to also say, my minister, Honorable Peter Mogi, is very supportive of issues of disability. And I want to thank her for that. In conclusion, there are issues of disability and challenges that we have had, issues of education, issues of employment, issues of social protection. All those things have been summarized in what we call the blueprint on people with disabilities. As I talk, the blueprint is already at the office of the President. We are only waiting for a day to go and share with His Excellency. Then I will deliver it to Cabinet and later to Parliament. And then it becomes a working document for the disability movement of Uganda. If that succeeds, I will die well, I will die happy that I have done a lot for people with disabilities. I will die very happy because I know that government now takes over issues of what? Of disability. Because I've been an advocate for all these years and I know what our issues are. I've also been informed that the issues of the National Development Plan 4, because we have been in 3, have captured our issues of disability. Because the last year's symposium, those who attended, we brought in the chairperson of the National Development Plan, and she told me, now I know your issues. And the issues have been captured in the areas that we are going to look at. And we have agreed in principle that we shall ensure disability is in. This one is blue. We have agreed that all the 18 programs that government is running, issues of disability are going to be integrated into their planning. So I want to congratulate all of you who have come. All of you are going to enjoy this evening under the leadership of our NGO, Nudipo and other civil society. Let us enjoy knowing that tomorrow we shall have to be at the field and receive the guest of honor. So I want to wish you people the best, and I want to say that this day is going to be a successful day tonight. I see that the organizers take care of our people well.
I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Nudipo. Today we are here to celebrate the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, which is going to be celebrated tomorrow. But as part of the pre-activities, we have organized a symposium to reflect on the theme. And the theme today is improving household incomes for persons with disabilities. There's a press statement that you have been given. I'll just speak through it. I'll not read verbatim. Isn't it better to give them now so that they follow? Okay. Yeah, for me, I have no problem that they can receive them, because for me, I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to speak through the paper. Okay. So if we are ready, I can go on. So today, Nudipo, together with the East African Center for Disability Law and Policy and the Uganda Women's Media Association, we are convening this press conference to highlight some of the key achievements that government has made under the theme of improving household incomes for persons with disabilities. For the well-being of persons with disabilities, in 2022, government made several commitments that were aimed at uplifting the standard or persons with disabilities in Uganda under the Global Summit commitments. And in 2018, similar commitments had also been made in the same aspect of uplifting the standard of persons with disabilities under the same arrangement. And as we speak, we want to acknowledge that government has done a lot in this regard of uplifting the standard of persons with disabilities, and this is evident through the special grant of persons with disabilities. We have a number of groups of persons with disabilities that have benefited from this grant since it was started in 2009. And we also acknowledge that government has reinforced 10% of the parish development model program to target persons with disabilities. To us, this is a plus, and we appreciate this. But we still note that whereas this has been achieved, there are still several challenges and a number of commitments that government has not yet attended to, which we want that as we celebrate the International Day of Persons with Disabilities this year on 3rd December 2024, we note that one, government has not yet instituted the quota system that they committed to do. The quota system was supposed to be instituted by the minister in charge of disability through consultation with the Federation of Uganda Employers and the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. And this was supposed to enable persons with disabilities get job opportunities or employment opportunities across the different sectors, both public and private. But to date, this has not yet been achieved. And the danger with persons with disabilities not having gainful employment is that their household incomes will not improve whatsoever. Then two, we still have challenges that persons who have severe disabilities, especially children, need to have the social assistance grant given to them. But as we speak, there is no policy in this regard, and yet we still see many children with severe disabilities struggling with life and management of the disability. Then also government had committed to increase the number of students with disabilities that are acquiring affirmative action from 64 to 320. This commitment has not been implemented at all. We still find challenges as we are advocating for the 10% under the parish development model. We find that the technical teams that are working on disability have not yet understood who a person with disability is, and as a result, we are finding many people at the community level not benefiting from this program, and those that are benefiting are not necessarily persons with disabilities. And this, in a way, has affected the targeting of persons with disabilities who must benefit from the 10%. The other challenge we have is that the parish development model looks at only one person in a household, and yet you know that our people with disabilities cannot live alone in a household. We have caretakers and other people who support us, and this has limited the number of persons with disabilities that are benefiting from the parish development model. The other challenge that is affecting household incomes is the climate change, the environmental barriers. You all know that there are many changes in different places in regarding the climate, And persons with disabilities are many times not given the early warnings that are given to the others. And as a result, many of them are losing lives, and they are also not benefiting from the agricultural programs that would be increasing their household incomes. So as a result, what are we asking government to do in a way of increasing the household incomes that we are advocating for today? I want to invite Mr. Yofisa Oyuki to take us through these actions, and then we proceed.
Thank you very much, CEO. And for persons with disabilities to realize increased household income, we call for the following. Number one, the quota system for employment of persons with disabilities to be determined by the Minister for Disability Affairs in consultation with the National Council for Persons with Disabilities and the employers' organizations to increase employment rates of the qualified persons with disabilities in Uganda. This is what Persons with Disabilities Act guides. It shall eventually contribute towards increased household income because it shall enable unemployed qualified persons with disabilities to be employed. Action number 2. We call government through Minister of Gender to fulfill her promise of ensuring the production of annual reports on the employment status of persons with disabilities in Uganda. Number 3, the government through the Ministry of Gender should fulfill her promise of expanding the Social Assistance Empowerment Grant, Social Empowerment Program to integrate a regular transfer for persons with severe disabilities, such as deafblind, those with severe physical disabilities, and those with severe cerebral palsy. Number 4, the government should fulfill her promise of increasing the number of students with disabilities joining public universities on affirmative action from 64 to 320. Number 5, the government should collaborate with NODIPU to support district technical teams working on parish development model program with knowledge on disability. Number 6, there is need for prioritization of persons with disabilities in the upcoming mass enrollment for the national IDs to ensure that they get national identity cards. Good enough, we have severely engaged them with the National Council for Persons with Disabilities and trained all NIRA senior management on disability inclusion. Action number 7 that we call, there should be revision of the parish development model program guidelines that benefits only one person to benefit more persons with disabilities in the household. Action number 8, the government should strengthen climate change mitigation and adaptation, including using inclusive early warning systems while regularly engaging with organizations of persons with disabilities. Action number 9 that we call for, government should prioritize enterprise selection and trainings in enterprise management skills for persons with disabilities to ensure sustainability of income generations at the household level. Action number 10, there is need for government to invest more on informal income generating activities which really works for persons with disabilities and reaches out to the majority of persons with disabilities. Action number 11, government should focus more on marketable trades such as vocational skills, value additions, and scale-up training in income-generating activities. In doing so, they shall emphasize on accessibility and support startup kits. And then action number 12, there is need to promote income diversification and support access to adaptive technologies to enhance full participation in income generations. This includes, but not limited to, irrigation technologies for sustaining all-year production in agriculture by persons with disabilities.
Okay, so those are our recommendations as NODIPU and organizations of persons with disabilities. I would like to invite Madame Achayo to speak to the theme.
As you look at the theme, improved household income for the well-being of persons with disabilities, we all note the contributions women normally make in our country, and the women with disabilities are not any far from making those contributions. As you also note that many women with disabilities live single lives, and that means that they actually have a lot of burdens in terms of being a woman, and then also being a woman with disability, and then also being a woman who is a single mother. And this person takes care of the children, but not only her biological children, even the extended families, because of the nature of us Africans, and then the family members. So the women with disabilities play a key role so much in improving household incomes. But of course, as they do that, the burden is just too much. I want us to understand that there are a number of challenges. The CEO has already mentioned some of the things, but I wanted us also to note the issues that affect these women with disabilities when they are trying to improve their household income. You note that many of the women are so much engaged in petty businesses, from selling vegetables, going to markets, but also the biggest challenge is how accessible are these markets? How are the facilities in these markets? These are very challenging situations that sometimes hinder their performance in getting their income. We also note a number of government programs is there, but how are these women accessing these government programs? Because of access into information, because a number of these government programs are either heard out through radios, televisions, and sometimes the community development staff mobilize people to come for these meetings, but sometimes you find these women are never mobilized. So accessing information for the different programs also becomes a big problem. The other thing is looking at the mobility appliances. We all note that many persons with disabilities use different mobility appliances. And for these women, they also have to use these different appliances. The cost in terms of getting these appliances, getting to the market, the distance also is one thing that that hinder sometimes the increase of their income. The other thing that we also note as a challenge is basically increased additional costs, because as a mother, you will always have to have a woman with disability. You have a wheelchair. You need somebody to push you, but also you are having a baby. You may also need a babysitter. So all this increases their cost, and as they are improving household income, a lot of cost also goes into these other things that needs to be taken care of. And then the other thing is that the other challenge is that most of our women with disabilities lack exposure. They lack exposure in terms of generating income at their household, and this somehow also affects the income at house level. And then the program manager Nodipo has talked about adaptive technology. As we note that a number of businesses now are going into use of technologies, and how do we make the women get to these adaptive technologies is a big challenge. And of course, we also note the big challenge of manipulation. Sometimes is also done by the family members. But nonetheless, government has at least done a number of things, but a number of programs. But the women are very good in terms of when you make comparison. Though these women, government has failed to come out with specific numbers or percentage for women to access this. And for me, my recommendation here is that all these government programs that government has put in place, looking at women, looking at the additional cost, can government come out specifically with a specific percentage of these different government programs to see that women with disabilities benefit. And then the government also need to see how we can improve into the adaptive technology in terms of cost. This may be only not for women, but also persons with disabilities, looking at the different disabilities, that we really need to see how government can make these technologies much more cheaper, so that we really see that these people get to. For example, when we are talking about knowing the prices outside there, we need these technologies. We need the issue of cost of data. This is also something that government needs to. And then lastly, as we are going in for this, the quota system needs also to be unpacked to take care of how many women with disabilities are in this quota system. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Chair.
Manuel, the chairperson of the district union, Kumi district. Now, as the CEO has requested, maybe I would just go direct to the recommendations, because as a district union, we had the discussions and we had the issues whereby we came up with some recommendations, because in the Kumi district, we have a challenge. One of the recommendations is that there is a challenge of interpreters. That's why you find that when it is a national function like this one, you'll get the interpreters around the area. But as a district union, we recommended to the district, if at all, they can recruit or train and recruit the interpreters, so that our people with the deaf hearing problem can also be involved in almost all development programs. And then the other one, we also, as a district union, discussed and recommended that almost all government programs, at least PWDs, should also be integrated in all those development programs. If at all they are included in the development programs, you will see that the lives of persons with disabilities will also improve. And then the other one, the third one, we also recommended, after discussions during the recruitment, we discussed and recommended that if at all the District Service Commission, because we have our PWDs who have the required documents to be recruited, if at all they can be recruited, and whereby we have a member of the District Service Commission, a person with disabilities, and we were like, if at all this person can support, provided that person with disability has the required documents to be considered. And then the third one, the fourth one, we were like, we recommended that as a district union, if the district can integrate all PWDs into development programs, because they take, for example, like the CEO talked, she talked about the integration of persons with disabilities in these development programs. Like PDM, the percentage is too low. For us as a district union, we have very many people with disabilities who need to be helped. But when you look at the percentage, it is very minimal. If at all the government can reconsider and increase the percentage of people with disabilities to benefit in the PDM. Those are some of the recommendations we came up with as a district union. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Members now of the media, we are ready for any areas you want us to clarify. And then we bring them. They are trained, they have gone to school, they have their degrees in sign language, diplomas, depending on the level. So when they are interpreting, please trust what they are doing. But the deaf people can confirm to what I'm saying, if the information they are getting is always wrong. Then the deaf person answer quickly. Yes.
as Uganda National Association of the Deaf and the entire deaf community in Uganda, we always monitor the sign language interpretation. Whatever we are being done. Because if the TV want a sign language interpreter, normally they consult Uganda National Association of the Deaf to support them in identifying potential sign language interpreters to be deployed. We, the people, we are always watching the TV and things are going on very well, the services are very well.
You answer the one for women briefly.
In addition, my colleague also
About using
indeed, some television assets, the sign language interpreter, there are some few challenges. But the captioning sometimes, the good captioning never rhyme with what the other people are saying. So sometimes others, they just decide to bring an interpreter without consulting. Others are not fluent in sign language. So that's very important that when you're looking at sign language interpreter, always consult users. Even you can approach Uganda National Association of the Deaf or NODEPO to be able to identify a rightful person to support. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any other responses?
Okay, I just wanted to say something about men using women with disabilities as sex slaves. We need to understand that, yes, a number of to use these women taking advantage of their disability. But as NUWODO, as NODEPO, we are also trying to see how best to make these women access justice if they so wish and they report. We are sensitizing them about these men who come in the night, use them in the night, and then very early in the morning they go away. Especially when they father children with them. Some of them even warn them that if you dare disclose me, you will see. But we always encourage them so that they are able to report these cases. And some of these men have actually been taken to prisons. So what we are still requesting from you, if you identify such things, just bring it out in the media for reporting.
Maybe I just want to bring in one thing.
So maybe we can have one-on-one.
Let me say in one thing.
Because we are going to have the one-on-one.
Where is a story we are working on as New Vision. There has been an influx of disabled mothers with children. I want you to interest yourself this in Imbale today.
Okay.
These women have been ferried from as far Kitale in Kenya, Bungoma, and they are being ferried from that side. They are now carried in Imbale, and they are renting small rooms in groups. I just want you to interest yourself, you will find that every disabled woman has a baby on her. And they have very strong guys who push them, who help them on their wheels. Come and put you on the wheel here, removes the wheel and stays aside. So I'm requesting that interest yourself in Imbale today as we move. You will see them.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you have already said that we should be able to interest ourselves. Yes. And I am telling you, we are going to do it as a team, NODEPO, NUWODO, and we shall start from there and we shall be able to see how we can move forward.
There was an issue on early warning.
Yes.
There was an issue raised on early warning. When you see one of our calls in this for action for government is to climate change mitigation and adaptation. And the key there is inclusive early warning system, where all categories of persons in that community get the information, get the alerts of what is happening in regard to climate. And this is not
Uganda.